So hey you guys, this is Tamika with the Natural Locks coming to you guys with another video. I'm sorry y'all, I just came from the event and okay, I still got the lipstick on. Okay, refreshing, I ain't reading that, so forgive me, bro. But guys, the video for relax in, so that is what I'm coming to you guys to give you. So some things I definitely want to start with. If you have, let's say, relax ends, but you have about, you know, 6 inches of relaxed ends and maybe only about an inch of unprocessed hair, I could understand someone like you wanting to reserve and start your journey. So the only thing you do need to actually start your journey with Sister Locks is 1.5 inches. That's all you need of unprocessed hair. The rest can be relaxed and you can get started with Sister Locks. But I do want to give you the pros and the cons, and I'm going to give it to you like it is. I'm going to give it to you straight, and hopefully you receive the information well. You can't go into a consultation and expect for it not to be a little bit difficult to manage the relaxed ends a little bit, or for a stylist to suggest for you to do some treatments before you get started. The reason why is because just being unprocessed or completely natural when getting started, I still always recommend clients to actually do a little bit of prep work before they get started, so the hair can be the locks can be established on a nice plan. I don't know, I guess playing field. I don't know how you want to throw that out there, but basically I'm just saying, if you're going to be doing a clarifying shampoo for a couple of months, you definitely want to make sure that you put in a significant amount of weeks, doing deep conditioners. You definitely want to do a couple of hold on, I'm sorry, y'all hear my nephew in the background because he just not gonna let me go. Now, this is my phone call. This is not yours. He'll get these. Net, come get him, please. My bad, y'all. He like, oh no, what you not gonna do is keep talking on my phone. That he only 2, but this is his phone. But anyway, you wanna make sure that you do some deep conditioning treatments just for people who are completely natural, because you will be on a clarifying shampoo for a couple of months. So with that being stated, a true clarifying shampoo like the Sister Lock clarifying shampoo ain't no joke. Basically, you are stripping that hair, you are raising up those cuticles, you are removing all of the oil from it, and you are not supposed to be using oily products. It is supposed to be in that state and condition, okay? No matter how it feels, it is supposed to be in that state and condition. That's why they say allow patience so that it can do what it needs to do. Okay, so if you have relaxed hair, understand that that hair needs protein, because you have broken down all of the bonds in there. You have reconstructed that hair strand. So instead of it doing a natural curl, you have elongated it. So that means that you have to provide protein like a conditioner. You have to do that to maintain the health of the hair. So if we know this in hindsight, that doesn't mean that you can't get locks. For the people that don't believe me, you notice when you are only taking care of your natural hair and not the transition hair, you have sometimes a lot of breakage, because a lot of people don't know how to care for both hair textures. So that's why it's very important when starting your lock establishments or your lock journey, you want to make sure that you overly condition that hair. And when I mean that or say that, I don't mean do keratin protein, because that's too much protein. That's like crack to your hair strand, and it basically causes it to break because now it's too dry. What I am recommending is that you take some months or some time to actually, do your split ends, trim them, because that continue to splits up the hair shaft, and also deep condition the hair, because you will have to go a while with with a little bit of clarifying shampoo, and it is going to be rough with the starter shampoo. So with that being stated, is that it's just going to be in a awkward position for a little bit of time, okay? So I do recommend, doing a little bit of the reconstructive conditioner. You can take that cream and you can dilute it in water when you are able to, and you can apply some of that to the hair, or you can do a water-based leave-in, which I, suggest basics. And Sister Locks, don't kill me. But some people do be going through breakage, and just them trying to use the reconstructive conditioner, trying to put it in water and dilute it themselves. Sometimes it's really not enough, or it's too much. Issue with me is just too much. Not enough, I'm not really worried about, but too much is a little bit much. Because then it causes issues with the locks, and now you have slippage. So those issues. But At the end of the day, I'm just letting you know that you do need some type of protein to, sustain you throughout the journey a little bit if you are with transition hair. Transitioning is meaning that you have, processed hair or relaxed ends and you have your locks, okay? So, or just, natural. I'm just either or. I'm just letting you know you do need that. Another thing to be on the hindsight or at least know about is that your ends may do get a little bit tangled with the clarifying shampoo. Things that I do suggest is that if you have relaxed ends, maybe braiding them up a little bit, doing nice braid outs. Okay, with perm ends, can I go ahead and start clarifying? Yes, you can clarify your hair early with the clarifying shampoo before you get started. But I do want to remind you, it is going to feel rough. Do not do it in its expectations that it's going to have your hair in a great state. Now, people complain about this with their locks, that it's really dry, but it's really just stripping the hair. So just imagine that with your natural hair. So, it may get a little bit tangled, but if you do have the prospects of doing an establishment, it is something good if you have a loose curl. So meaning if your hair is really soft or a loose curl, you might want to consider doing some deep conditioning treatments. Or if it's really soft, you might want to do a few, not deep conditioning treatments, but a little couple clarifying shampoos before you get started. So again, if you do have really loose hair, you might want to do a clarifying shampoo prior to starting, or if it's really extremely soft. Um, Also, just know that it will or may get tangled. So do some braid outs, do some curls, do those things so that you can kind of have your ends manipulated in a certain style so that they just don't be completely free. I still know people or have seen journeys to where people leave them loose and don't really worry about styling, but it's like they don't really worry about it. They just leave it loose. They kind of crinkle up a little bit. Or they do like a little braid out, a light braid out, should I say, because they don't even really apply products or anything, just braid it after they wash it, and you could continue to move forward. I would suggest that if you do curls too as well, because it's not any products that you could use at the beginning or setting lotion. I would suggest you braid it out after you do a wash, or curl it after you do a wash because it's wet. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to see your message, but for some reason okay, now it popped up. Okay, my appointment is next month with you, and I have relaxed ends. I will definitely start doing this. Yes, you definitely do want to get started early with doing it, and I really suggest that for anybody that's starting an establishment journey, because your hair will lack a few things in the midst of the journey, so you definitely want to take care of it, take care of your hair, just prep it up and get it ready for the journey, because a lot of people be on those clarifying shampoos for months. And that's why I really do feel like people go out and use additional things. But let's go back to those relaxed ends, okay? Eventually your ends will either lock crazy, because most of the time I notice that they still lock. It's just a lot of bunching or a lot of and it's not even, it's not a consistent lock. So eventually you will start to trim it off. I do want to give you a couple different pointers for trimming it off, and I also want to tell you other reasons you may fall in this category. You may fall in this category if you have a lot of heat damage to your ends. A lot of people think that because you do structural damage and it's not a chemical surface damage, that you are still having natural hair. No, like if you don't have a natural curl, you do not, like, you have damaged it. You have damaged the curl pattern, whether you have did it, just with consistent heat or flat irons, Dominican blowouts, no shade. But I'm just keeping it honest. That is damaged hair. Most likely the curl will not return. One thing on the market that I do love, and I'm just gonna keep it 100 and let y'all know, Olaplex. If any curl will come back, Olaplex will bring that curl back. Olaplex is a product that I even suggest for people that's just, natural, but still just may need a little bit of care before they get started. An Olaplex treatment is typically something that's going inside your hair strand. See this? Inside the hair strand. When you're dealing with conditioners, you're only repairing the cuticles. That means the outside layer. It's like a snake skin. Let's just say the inside of the snake is the cuticles. This is where all your bonds is linked together. This is what actually, make pretty much your curl pattern. When those things are damaged, regardless of which way, You're gonna need something like Olaplex that's gonna go inside the cortex, so inside that snake, and repair and relink everything that needs to be relinked in there, or basically, try to relink them as much as possible, because some people have did so much to their hair that, baby, it ain't coming back. Just clip. Just let it go. Okay, let it go. Let it go. But anywho, you guys still will fall into this spectrum. So again, these treatments are things to do would probably, benefit you as far as getting started. You may want to do these things like deep conditioner treatments, okay? Like I tell everybody, but definitely people who have relax ends, that you're going to leave away from the conditioner, just so that you don't have a lot of shedding. Also too as well, I do also know that depending on how much you got started with your relax ends, you will either do a good cut, so meaning you will clip all at one time once the hair is locked, or you will clip little by little by little. So what this means is that each year you would do a grooming session, and you would just trim off a little bit, and it will only be your ends getting trimmed, and then eventually you will be to your unprocessed part, if you feel more comfortable doing it that way. So meaning you feel comfortable with getting started, but you don't necessarily want to get started with a short length of hair. I would say do this method before you do those lock attachments to your sister locks, because it's too much added weight, and it will cause traction alopecia, or it may cause traction alopecia for you. So definitely think about these things before getting started, before you just do a major cut. Make sure that you're comfortable with all these aspects before going forward, okay? These are some things you need to consider. I'm sorry, I had a comment, so let me hold on. Let me check to see exactly what those comments was. I'm gonna be completely honest. I mean, I wouldn't braid the lock. Somebody asked, would you consider braiding the lock ends, throughout an establishment? I mean, no, I wouldn't. I mean, and the only reason why I personally wouldn't do that is because, for one, I'm not a strong braider. That just would really cramp my hands, and on top of doing an establishment for you. So I really put a lot of emphasis like on my parting, my grid, so in my rotations, making sure it's not any gaps or holes. So for me to take time to actually braid it afterwards or a while, like I don't want to lie to you, okay? And I mean, I don't mind people doing this, but one thing that I do want to like throw out there is that your ends are completely straight. When you have